Hey everybody, it's April and welcome to the List Critics. I'm NecroVMX. With me as always is Tanya
Hello,
Botello.
everybody.
Hello, hello. Before we get to our lists, we have Tanya has something to talk about real quick. As you guys know, we both work at Kazara Studios. As a matter of fact, Tanya owns the company, and we're working on Chronicles of a Dark Lord Episode 2. We're working on the remake for Xbox of the first game, and Tanya wanted to talk about that very briefly.
Yeah, I did. Thank you, John. I just wanted to touch on this real quick, and then we'll get to the lists. Is We currently have a Kickstarter page up, and we'll have the link in the description on the video, right, John?
Yes,
Awesome,
of
thank you.
course.
But we're doing a Kickstarter project for episode one for Xbox, and and obviously we're looking to get as many backers as possible to make this dream of ours happen. So just real quick, if you guys are all at all interested in helping us out and getting Chronicles of a Dark Lord Episode 1 Tides of Fate on Xbox, then definitely I was highly, and I thank you for doing it, is sending in your backing for backing the project. Just so you guys,
And we have some great
we
prizes.
do. We have some really awesome rewards. Even a $5 reward, a $5 for the $5 reward, or if you donate $5 or above, it actually nets you the complete Chronicles of a Dark Lord Episode 1 Tides of Fate Enhanced Edition for digital download. So even $5 gets you a complete game. For the
Yeah, so if you were thinking of buying the game for $5 download, this is a way to do it.
Yeah, definitely. It's really good. We have some really great rewards, especially for people who donate more than like 20, 30, $40 and so on. Uh,
And we've had a few of those
yeah,
already.
we have. So, we're hoping people will take advantage of this, and also that obviously it helps us put episode one on Xbox. And obviously, I think everybody would like to see the game on Xbox, honestly, because it's just that's
Of
yeah, it's
course.
gonna be great.
Of
But
course.
again, for anybody who wants to donate to us. Again, I need to let you know is that your donations are not counted until and unless we meet our actual Kickstarter goals. In other words, if we don't meet our goal, then nothing gets taken out, and you don't pay anything. So and of course, if it does, then obviously you'll be paying towards it. But honestly, either way, it's a win-win situation for you, for us, and again, we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's get to the lists
Let's
then,
do it
huh?
up.
Okay, so to start off, I have a list that was. We're going to start off right away with a big one. We have a top 100 list sent in by
Oh,
Razarath92.
Razarath, he's my best friend.
I'm sure he is. He subscribes to your
I think
channel,
he
doesn't
does.
he?
He's awesome. Gonna love him.
Okay. And this is on IMDb. It was written by him, so it's not something he
Okay.
found. And this is his 100 best actors of all
Oh,
time.
wow.
Now, I'm just looking down this, using the word actor to describe both men and women, because I do see some actresses
Okay.
on here. So women will be included. So because it's a top 100 list, and if we stop to discuss every single one, it will never get done. So I'm going to go through 10 at a time, and then we'll stop and we'll discuss what
Okay.
was on there. So at number 100, we have Woody Harrelson. At number 99, we have Jeff Bridges. At number 98, we have Tom Cruise. At number 97, we have Tom Hardy. At number 96, we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt. At number 95, we have Morgan Freeman. At number 94, we have Daniel Craig. At number 93, we have John Hurt. At number 92, we have Sigourney Weaver. And at number 1, we have Rutger Hauer. Now, I gotta say, starting off to a pretty strong start
Especially
here.
like Morgan Freeman, Sigourney Weaver. That's yeah.
Daniel Craig. These could be, in like the top
I,
30 or so
I
for
was just
some
gonna say. I mean,
lists. So
Morgan Freeman. I'd actually put higher up if it was me, but that's me though.
that is definitely kind of an anomaly that Morgan Freeman is down in the 90s. I mean, thinking about his just recently, the Batman stuff, and then you go further back and you got you got the best movie of all time,
Oh,
Shawshank
come on, yeah, yeah.
Redemption. You got Driving Miss Daisy to go even further back, and just pretty much, even when he's in a bad movie, he's
Yeah,
good.
he makes it work. I mean, yeah.
So,
Oh,
Seven,
seven. Oh,
that's a great role for him. So that's kind of a surprise, but so far I don't have any
no,
objections so far
no, not
other than
really.
that. Number 90 is Mark Hamill. Number 89 is Paul Giamatti. Number 88 is Clive Owen. Number 87 is Philip Seymour Hoffman. Number 86 is Sean Bean. Number 85 is Michael C. Hall. Number 84 is Spencer Tracy. Number 83 is Buster Keaton. Number 82 is Malcolm McDowell. And number 81 is Gene Kelly. Now, I do have a few things to say
Yeah,
about
so do I.
this. Gene Kelly, not much
Yeah,
of
I
an
was just
actor.
saying Gene Kelly shouldn't even be on there, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely a great dancer and a great
Not an
acrobat,
actor.
but I don't know about an
No.
actor. No. Some of these really shouldn't be this low. I mean, Mark Hamill, I guess, are they counting his voice acting work? Because if they did,
I was
he
just
would
to
be
say,
much higher.
if they're not counting his voice acting work, he should be a lot higher.
But something like Clive Owen, Philip Seymour Hoffman, I mean, these guys should be a lot higher. And Michael C. Hall, though, I don't think
I don't
should
think
be
he should
on
be on
this
that
list.
period, but
He
yeah, he
sucks.
does. I agree with you with that one.
You know what it is that he's okay. He sucks. I want to just reel that back in for a second. He sucks in movies. Most people, I guess, today know him as Dexter, and he's very popular as that, so that's probably why
Oh
he's on
yeah,
this list.
yeah. Well,
But one good role does not warrant a spot on the
one
list
good
like
role
this.
does not an actor make.
Exactly. Anybody can do
Yeah,
it once.
no, it has to be consistent.
Okay. Number 80 is Bela Lugosi. Number 79, Peter Cushing. Number 78, Christopher Lee. Number 77 is Rita Hayworth. Number 76 is Mae West. Number 75 is James Dean. Number 74 is Peter Sellers. Number 73 is Christopher Plummer. Number 72 is Fred Astaire. And number 71 is Gregory Peck. A lot of legends in the
I
70s.
don't agree with many of those where their placement is. I think a lot of them, especially like Gregory Peck, should be way higher up. No, I don't agree with that.
I have to agree with you there. Also, Fred Astaire, is he really
I thought
an
he was
actor?
just a dancer.
He did some light acting, but he was mostly known
That's what
for
I
dancing.
thought.
So he kind of gets lumped in the same category
Gene
as
Kelly,
Gene Kelly.
yeah.
Mae West also, she was more of a sex symbol than anything.
Yeah,
I
she
mean,
was.
You don't really think of her as being this amazing
No, I never do.
actress.
But Gregory Peck. Come on.
Yeah. Interesting that there were three major horror icons in a row. You had Bela Lugosi, Peter Cushing, and Christopher Lee all
I'm
in
sorry,
a row
Christopher
there.
Lee should be. Christopher Lee would be my.
Christopher Lee definitely should
Yeah,
be
he'd
a
be in
lot
my top
higher.
20.
All three of those guys, because Bela Lugosi, kind of the same thing as Morgan Freeman. He was in some really bad movies, but he was always
Yeah,
good.
Bela Lugosi. Hell, come on now. The original Wolfman. Come on now.
Yeah, he wasn't the
Oh,
Wolfman. That
that
was
was Lon Chaney. I'm getting mixed
Jr.
up.
No, he was
He was Dracula. Yeah. Oh, goddess.
Um, we all have those moments there, Tanya. Maybe now that you're turned 30, you haven't seen your moments already.
Funny. Perfect.
Okay, let's move on. Number 70 is Dennis Hopper. Number 69 is... Let's try that again. Number 69 is Jake Gyllenhaal. Number 68 is Helena Bonham Carter. Number 67 is Joe Pesci. Number 66 is Grace Kelly. Number 65 is Kirk Douglas. Number 64 is Michael Douglas. Number 63 is Kevin Costner. Number 62 is Elizabeth Taylor. And number 61 is Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
How did Reese Witherspoon get that high
Why
up
is
in
Reese?
there?
Why is Reese Witherspoon better than Kevin Costner? Why? Or Morgan Freeman. Why?
Joe Pesci or any of these. That's a very strange. she's sort of a character actor,
Not
not
really.
really
No,
a great actor, but
she's
she's a
good,
good
but I
character
wouldn't consider
actor.
her better than like Christopher Lee.
Yeah, I mean, just keep in mind when you're writing lists like this is the Legally Blonde chick, you know?
Yeah.
Very strange. Number 60 is Peter O'Toole. Number 59 is Orlando Bloom. Number 58 is Viggo Mortensen. Number 57, Natalie Portman. Number 56 is Charlize Theron, sorry. Number 55 is Vivian Leigh. Number 54 is Steve McQueen. Number 53, Charlton Heston. Number 52, Michael Caine. And number 51, Hugh Jackman. I gotta zero in here on Orlando Bloom. I don't think he's any good.
I gotta say, Orlando Bloom, I like him, but I don't think he's better than like Bela Lugosi or Christopher Plummer. You know what I mean? No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think every role he plays, he's playing Orlando Bloom. Sorry to
But
say.
now, like, I actually disagree with a couple of those too because I don't.
Charlton Heston
Charlton
should be
Heston
higher.
should be a bit higher. Yeah, no, I disagree with some of the placement on that. I mean, it seems a little odd to me, but
You know, it's interesting. Looking at these headshots, I never noticed this before because we had Daniel Craig on the list before, and you know, he kind of looks like Steve McQueen.
does he really?
Let me link you to these particular headshots that they use. Let me go down to where Daniel Craig was. He was somewhere in the 90s. Okay, it's like the worst picture of Daniel Craig, but you know what he looks like. Let me just send you that. I'm just noticing. I was just hovering over the Steve McQueen photo, and I just okay, this is kind of a similarity there. And here's the Steve McQueen one. Sending you that now.
Let's see. Oh wow. Yeah, there's
there's a bit of a
they're really
resemblance,
it's almost like they could be like cousins or something. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, moving along. Number 50 is Christopher Walken. Number 49 is Liam Neeson. Number 48 is John Travolta. Number 47 is Marilyn Monroe. Number 46 is Ingrid Bergman. Number 45 is Judi Dench. Number 44 is Sylvester Stallone. Number 43 is Nicole Kidman. Number 42 is Charles Chaplin. And number 41 is Gary Oldman. Now, I got to zero in on one of them. And
The left,
Sylvester
I was
Stallone.
gonna say, yeah. How about no?
He had his good moments, like the Rocky movies.
Yeah, but
the Rambo was great, but he's just, you look at his track record, and he's been in so many shit movies where he's basically playing Sylvester Stallone.
I never considered him a spectacular actor, but now then again, I have to zero in, believe it or not, on Marilyn Monroe.
She kind of goes in the same category as a little bit of Mae West and a little bit of Reese
She's not a
Witherspoon.
real actress to my eyes.
She was a good comedic character actor, but not somebody who should be wedged between Ingrid Bergman and John Travolta.
And John Travolta. I mean, this list is making me like.
I don't know. He's had a lot.
That's
of
what I mean. Like,
roles.
Why is John Travolta, not like a little further down? I thought he would be.
Well, if anybody on the in the 40s here deserves to be higher up, it's
Gary. Oh,
Oldman.
hell yeah.
He's top. He's
Oh,
top
hell yeah.
material.
Easy.
Well, Judi Dench also. She's number 45. She
I
should
don't
be a
get
lot
it.
higher. Okay. Well, let's see what he's got above that. So let's see. We're up to number 40 is Angelina Jolie. 39 is Robert Duvall. Number 38 is Kate Blanchett. Number 37 is John Wayne. Number 36 is Nicolas Cage. Number 35 is George Clooney. Number 34 is Laurence Olivier. Number 33 is Samuel L. Jackson. Number 32 is Robert Downey Jr. Number 31 is Sean Connery. And, that's where I gotta stop. This is an interesting one because you have some of my favorites and some of my least favorites. I got George Clooney and Nicolas Cage don't even belong on this
And also, I gotta tell you, Angelina Jolie, I love a good set of tits like any other girl or guy out there, but I gotta tell you, she does not belong there.
I could see her being like number 98 or something.
She does not belong there at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And Laurence Olivier being at number 34. That's another top
Yeah,
10 person.
what is going on?
Well, it's his list. Let's move along here. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, I think,
Samuel L.
should be
Jackson,
higher
I would put
too.
in my top 20.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Number 30 is Christian Bale. Number 29 is Bruce Willis. Number 28 is Bette Davis. Number 27, Cary Grant. Number 26, Jim Carrey. Number 25, Matt Damon. Number 24, Harrison Ford. Number 23, Edward Norton. Number 22, Heath Ledger. And number 21, Jimmy Stewart. I had no particular issues here, really.
I'm not very fond of Christian
They're
Bale
all
at
good.
all. No, I've never
Really?
been fond of him, or I just never been fond of him.
Interesting. Well, I think it depends on the role, but I've liked him in everything I've seen him in, so I still think of him as an American Psycho
Yeah, that's
guy.
how I think about him. So I mean, he's good, but
Yeah.
I think he'd be my top like 40 or something, you know.
Okay. Okay. Moving along. Number 20 is Ryan Gosling. Number 19 is Daniel Day-Lewis. Number 18 is Russell Crowe. Number 17 is Sean Penn. Number 16, Humphrey Bogart. Number 15, Brad Pitt. Number 14, Clint Eastwood. Number 13, Anthony Hopkins. Number 12, Denzel Washington. And number 11, Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, what I gotta say is, these are a lot of guys that should be lower on the
Yeah,
list.
especially Leo. I mean, I like Leo, I do, but
Well, it's interesting because when he first kind of burst onto the scene, I didn't think much of him, and I think that lately he's started to really become a
yeah,
great actor. He shouldn't be number
no,
11 on the list because he hasn't earned it yet, but I think that one day he may
yeah,
have earned
I
that
agree
spot.
with that. But I don't think if she's number 11 right now, that's a little far-fetched.
I mean, for every Inception and Shutter Island and what's that other one he did? The
Oh yeah,
Aviator. For every one of those he's done, there was a lot of crap in his
Titanic.
past. There was a Titanic or The Man in the Iron Mask or Romeo and
Yeah,
Juliet.
so
So he's gotten a lot better. Happy to see Anthony Hopkins there, but most of those guys should be lower.
Anthony Hopkins, I love Anthony Hopkins.
Actually, I don't even see why Ryan Gosling is number 20.
Why is Ryan Gosling number 20? Oh, whatever.
I don't know. He's sort of a neither here nor there.
I don't really consider him anything great, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. All right. Moving on here, we got we're at the top 10 now. So number 10 is Meryl Streep. Number 9 is Jack Nicholson. Number 8, Marlon Brando. Number 7, Robert De Niro. Number 6, Johnny Depp. Number 5, Tom Hanks. Number 4, Al Pacino. Number 3, Alec Guinness. Number 2, Orson Welles. And the number 1 spot goes to Toshiro Mifune.
Who?
Well, he was in Seven Samurai and about a billion other Japanese movies. So he's probably the greatest actor out of Japan. I don't know about all. He was in Rashomon as well. That was a great
But
film.
I don't really know the actor.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, when you think of great Japanese films, you think of Rashomon, you think of Seven Samurai, and that's pretty much
Yeah.
it. He's been in like almost 200 movies, but you don't really know them. Obviously, Razarath is a big fan of his. I like the top 10. I think that the only real oddity, other than Toshiro, who's obviously a personal choice, is Alec Guinness. Alec Guinness was great, but I don't think he's
No,
number
I'd
3.
say Alec Guinness would probably be like number 13 or something like that for me.
Yeah, a little lower
No,
for me. Only actress to crack the top 10 was Meryl Streep, although I do
I
think she
definitely think
deserves
she
it.
deserves it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so out of 100, let's get your opinion first here. What do you
Uh,
think?
I got a few issues with the list. I'm actually going to say 85 out of 100.
I was actually going to say
Wow.
67. So
Wow.
I think that it didn't seem to be in any particular order. It's just basically could have been jumbled around and it would have been the same
Yeah.
exact list.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a okay list, but it's
You know, I'm actually going to revise my score, and I'm going to take a mulligan here, and I'm going to say I'm going to actually bring it down to about 70.
A golf
Yeah, a golf
term.
term. I'm actually going to say 70. Yeah.
70. Okay. All right. So let's move along then. We have a list sent in by I Fuck Like an Animal.
I love that user.
Know you like his username. He sent in, this is not his list. He found this one over on Listverse. And it's the top 10 most influential science fiction writers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I will read it as soon as the damn thing loads. It's not loading fast enough.
It's because you got to talk nicely to it.
Okay, please load. No, that didn't work.
First.
Load,
there
you
go.
That didn't work either. Okay, hold on a second. Let's try this again. All right, you know what? It's loading, but it's going very slowly. So why don't we go ahead to the next one,
sure,
and we'll come
good.
back to that. So the next one was sent in by Badass Power Fist.
Okay.
That's
I like that.
Cool
yeah.
name, huh? Yeah. Let me bring this up. This is the top 10 most absolutely overrated books you've probably had to read.
Oh, God.
So I'm guessing that these are a lot of books that are assigned to people in school, college, and high school and whatnot. And that they're overrated for one reason or another. Okay, so let's see. This list was written by... It doesn't say, actually. Come on, people. Why don't you want credit for your work? It actually does not say who... Oh, here it is. Jeffrey Cubbage wrote this list.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so number 10 on the overrated books you've probably had to read is Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. I guess if you were in a college philosophy course, you probably had to read it. I never had to write
neither did I, no.
one. Yeah. Number 9 is Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott.
No.
Which is something else that I haven't read, so there you go. Oh, really? Are you kidding me? Okay, number 8 is Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, the second most influential book of all time.
Well.
And also probably the best book that I've personally ever read, so I can't see how
Why
it's
would that
overrated.
be over? Well,
probably because he disagrees with what Ayn Rand has to say, but... You know, that's fine. You can disagree with what Ayn Rand has to say, but it's an amazing story.
You can't deny its story or its power, so yeah.
Yeah, an amazing story, even if you don't like what she has to say. Number 7 is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I don't know why you would unless you are forever alone.
I never read that, so
Number 6 is The Last of the Mohicans by James
that one I read,
Cooper.
yeah.
I have not read it. I've seen the movie, which was
I read it. It's good. It's overrated, but...
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the movie was great, so I imagine the books are usually better.
Yeah, they usually are,
right? Yeah. So I would assume that the book is better than the movie, and the movie was great, so I don't know how overrated it is. Number 5 is... Oh, really? Grimm's Fairy Tales by Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm.
That's not overrated.
How overrated could it
really be? How is it overrated? I don't...
Maybe he's more of a fan of Perrault's fairy tales.
No, I don't agree with that at all. So,
I can't agree with that. Oh my God, it just gets worse. Number 4 is The Lord of the Rings by
give me a
J.R.R.
fucking
Tolkien.
break, man. You know what? No, fuck that.
He only created the high fantasy.
I mean, give me a fucking break. No, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. Now, it is true that J.R.R. Tolkien himself thought that Lord of the Rings was overrated.
Dude, it's...
So maybe that's where he's coming from. But
no.
Because J.R.R. Tolkien didn't consider himself to be a novelist.
Yeah, I could see that, but...
He actually wrote the novel as a delivery system for... He was a linguist, and he was making up the fake Elven language, which was based on, like, old Swedish dialects and shit. And, actually, I think it was Finnish. And, maybe he accidentally crapped out a masterpiece, but it's still a masterpiece.
And it's just... No, it's... Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not overrated. No.
Wow. Number 3 is Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. I can't see how anything by James Joyce would be
Honestly,
overrated.
I don't know how. I haven't even read it, so
This person here is I'm skipping over a lot of the commentary here, but he's very vicious towards it. He calls it completely fucking unreadable.
I never read it, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Number 2 is another classic, To Kill a
That's
Mockingbird by
not
Harper Lee.
overrated. How is that overrated?
You know,
It's a,
I really can't understand how
that's an
he put
American
that
classic.
on there. Number 1, okay, I see what this guy's up to. He's not serious in this. He's
He's
just
troll.
trying to invite. Yeah, he's trolling. He's trying. The word I was going to use is invite
Oh.
controversy. But trolling is as good a word for it as any because his number 1 is the Bible. Now, I have to agree to a certain extent because we have a disturbingly large cult of people who've taken
Yeah,
it literally.
yeah, that's true.
But it does tell one
It,
hell
it,
of
it
a
is one,
story, I'll tell you
especially
that much.
towards Revelation. Very, very.
Yeah, it starts to get
Yeah,
pretty metal
it gets pretty
right
metal
around
around
there.
there. It's a
Yeah,
pretty one. It's one heck of a story. I'll tell you that.
I would say he's right in saying it's the most overrated book of all time because people have based
Well,
a
no,
religion
not only
around
based
it.
on religion, but I mean, how often do you hear about people not only following a book's guidelines and things like that, but adopting a book?
Starting
Yeah, and
wars.
starting a war about a
Yeah,
book, or
yeah. Well, basically every religion
yeah,
does
but
that. So,
it's. I think that book's,
well, not every religion, but all
it's
the big
definitely
ones.
overrated to the extent that it is like.
Yeah, but for the most part, this list is malarkey. I
It's
mean, it, it's a lot of invitation of controversy and very little else that he has to say.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I'm going to give it a
I,
1 out
I
of
I might
10. I don't have anything
can
positive
I
to
can I
say.
go a little bit lower and say 0.5?
No, we don't
All
do
right, so
that. We
it's a
don't do
one. It's a
that.
one.
You can't give you can't give it half a
It's a
point.
one.
Okay, so there was actually one more list submitted by Badass Powerfist, but I want to backtrack because the other one has loaded. So let's go back to that. Sent in by I Fuck Like an Animal. This is from Listverse. It's the top 10 most influential science fiction writers, and this was written by. Nobody puts their name at the top. I gotta scroll down to the bottom to find out who wrote it. Shane Dayton wrote this. So here we go. Top 10 most influential science fiction writers. Number 10 is Douglas Adams, of course, most known for Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and its many sequels.
Yep, I heard
Pardon?
you.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said.
I was like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Hell yeah!
Yes. Number 9, Orson Scott Card, of course, known mostly for Ender's Game.
Awesome, classic.
Definitely influential right there. Number 8 is Robert Heinlein. I'm not actually familiar
I'm
with
not
him.
familiar with him either, which is kind of odd. Okay.
It says that they consider him to be in the big three along with Isaac Asimov and Clarke. But I would have thought that the third person in that would be William Gibson.
Interesting. Okay.
So I don't know. Yeah. Speaking of which, number 7 is William Gibson.
Obviously. Okay.
Yeah. And the other choice, like if you were to do the big four, was number 6 is Ray
Oh,
Bradbury.
Ray Bradbury. Okay, yeah.
I saw when I was a kid a TV adaptation of Mars is Heaven, which
I
scared
bet
the
it
crap
did.
out of me.
I bet it did.
Yeah. Number 5 is Frank Herbert. Of course, he's behind the Dune
Oh, Dune's
series.
huge. So yeah.
Yeah, of course. This person calls it the Lord of the Rings of science fiction, and
We're not too far off. Yeah.
Number 4 is Arthur C. Clarke, aka the guy that makes great books that people turn into shitty movies.
Truth.
Number 3 is Isaac Asimov, who is so influential he actually invented the word
Yes, he
robotics.
did. He
They don't mention that here, but I did happen to know that off the top of my head.
he's extremely influential. So
Also, he has the most epic sideburns I've ever seen. You got to see this picture of him, Tanya. Let
epic
me send this to you.
sideburns.
It's unbelievable. Oh wait, no, okay, we're not sending it to Andrew. We're sending it to Tanya. let's get this right now. Check
Let's see
this
these
out.
epic sideburns here. Oh, wow, epic.
Those aren't mutton chops. Those are entire lambs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Holy hell.
uh, number two is Jules
Oh,
Verne,
Jules Verne.
who
Center of the
journeyed to the
Earth.
center of the
Yeah.
Earth, around the world in 80 days,
Come on
20,000 leagues
now.
under the sea.
Yeah.
So there you go. And the number one most influential science fiction writer of all time, according to this, is
H.G.
Wells.
Wells. Hell yes.
Of course, he's written a lot of things. Probably the one that he's most known for is The War of the Worlds, which has been done and redone, radio drama, movies, TV shows, over and over again. So certainly very
I can't disagree with that list at all. I just can't.
No, this is pretty much a perfect list.
I give it a 10.
Give it a 10.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10 out of 10 for that one. Okay, so here's the other one sent in by Badass Power Fist. This is from Ranker.com. We have the top 10 most offensive Mel Gibson quotes.
Yes!
Matt, remember, actually, this is interesting. It says the top 10, but there's actually 12.
Okay.
So a little bit of a naming convention error here, but it's the top 12 most offensive Mel Gibson quotes, so we get a bonus there. Remember back when people liked
Oh, you mean
Mel
like during
Gibson?
like The Patriot and all that?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, or even further back. I mean, but then it's like we found out
Yeah.
that he was a nutcase. I think when he did the Jesus movie, everybody started to suspect that there might be something
Passion of the
wrong
Christ,
with him.
yeah.
And then almost right after that is when he started to come out with his ramblings and his drunkenness.
It was so bad. So
But amusing. So, okay, here we are. Number 12 is feminists don't like me and I don't like them. Well, I don't know if that's
really
offensive.
I think it's just rude, but yeah.
I mean, all right, feminists don't like him, you don't like feminists. I'm sure there's more to that, but that's all that's here. Number 11, this is probably what prompted number 12, is a woman should be home with the children, building that home and making sure there's a secure family atmosphere. So basically he's saying, get back in the
Fuck
kitchen.
him.
What a yeah, especially coming from Tanya, who is a CEO.
Yeah, fuck
so,
that.
And not to mention a CEO in an industry that's mostly
it's a male-dominated industry too. So yeah.
This number 10 is funny. Number 10 is just like a contradiction in terms. This was to his wife. How dare you act like such a bitch when I've been so fucking nice?
And what dimension is he in for that to happen?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's wow. Number 9 is let's see. I'll tell you what really turns my toes up. Love scenes between 68-year-old men and young actresses. I promise you, when I get to that age, I will say no.
I think.
Well, I don't know that that's offensive. As a matter of fact, he has a point.
Yeah.
I mean,
kinda.
Like, okay, for example, Roger Moore, who played James Bond in the 70s and 80s, quit because when he did the last one, A View to a Kill, which had Bond banging more chicks than any other movie, he said he felt silly. He felt like he was doing like little girls because these women were like 30 years younger than him.
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah. That's a better.
I guess the point that this person is making is that they think that Mel Gibson's not going to live up to what he said, and that he is going to be doing those scenes when he's 68. That is, if
he hasn't done anything lately. So yeah.
Yeah. Number 8 is, and this is another one to his wife, his ex-girlfriend. You don't have any fucking friends except me, and you treat me like shit, so that's why I'm so fucking angry, because I don't have any friends. Hold on one second. Yes? Sorry about that. So that's pretty
a little messed. But offensive. I think it's just messed up. So.
Well, it's offensive that he's screaming that, this poor abused woman that lived with him. Oh, yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Number 7, and this was when he was pulled over and arrested for drunk driving, and he had a lot of offensive quotes when he was arrested. And this is apparently when he was brought into the station, he said this to a female officer. What do you think you're looking at, sugar tits?
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, I would have slapped. Oh, man.
Yeah. Not a good idea to piss off the police officers that are in the process of arresting you.
I would have smacked his balls all the way up past his mouth. Oh, man.
His balls coming out of his mouth. Number 6. If I've still got my pants on in the second scene, I think they've sent me the wrong script.
That's fucked up. That is fucked up.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
I don't even understand what he's trying to say there. I don't get it. I like, what is his point? He's out of his mind. All right, number 5. This is, again, yelling at his ex. Threaten you, I'll put you in a fucking rose garden, you cunt. You understand that? Because I'm capable of it. You understand that?
I think that's pretty threatening, pretty fucked up and offensive. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, there's a lot wrong there. Number 4, also from the same tapes. I'm going to come and burn the fucking house down, but you will blow me first.
If I ever saw this guy in person, I think I'd probably like smack you.
You don't want to see him. Yeah. I mean, the first part, I'm like, okay, he's gonna burn the house down. It's fucked up, but it's not offensive. And then he said, but you'll blow me
that
first.
Shit. What an asshole.
Number 3. You're gonna. Oh boy, man, I don't want to say this. Apparently Mel Gibson's not too big on gay people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, they take it up the ass, and then he points to his ass and says, this is only for taking a shit.
I'm going to take a shit on his face. How about that?
And this is interesting. This is probably the most interesting quote on here because it's the oldest. This is from 1991.
I'm going to take a big shit right on his face. I really am. What a fucking...
Yeah. Number 2. Oh, man. Yeah, this is even worse. This is also from when he was being arrested. And he said, fucking Jews. The Jews are responsible for all the wars in the world. Which I don't know what that has to do with him being drunk and being pulled over, but apparently he was ranting about Jews, and I don't understand how anybody could have a problem with Jews.
I have many Jewish friends. I have no problem with them. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, the Jews in general tend to be...
Normal, nice people, yeah.
So I've never met a Jew that was like, like a bad person, so I don't know why there's such hatred towards the Jews. I mean... That's
pretty fucking offensive, yeah, that's...
I'm sure he would have been big in Germany around 1945
I was gonna say,
yeah. Or so, and number 1 is... oh, God... All right, I'm actually gonna do something that I almost never do on my channel, is I'm going to self-censor a little here, because there's one particular word here that I don't want to blurt out. Not that I have an issue with the particular word, but the context it's used in, and you look like a fucking pig in heat. This is to his ex, and you will get raped by a pack of the N-word. So, according to him, black people travel in packs and rape people.
That is so... I'm speechless.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, these certainly are the top 10 most offensive Mel Gibson quotes. Numbers 11 and 12 weren't that bad, but...
Yeah.
So that's probably why they named it that. But, well, actually, number 11 was pretty bad, so... Number 12. Okay, number 12 wasn't really like anything special, but I'm not going to take any points off because most of these were so offensive that it just makes up for it. So I'm going to give this a 12 out of 12.
Yeah, that last one got me.
I think that that's going to be a popular list critics segment for Tanya's telling what she would do to Mel Gibson. I think that was very funny.
Yeah.
You're going to smack his balls. You're going to shit on his face. That was just great. Okay, so moving on to the next
Oh,
list.
thank
Thank
you.
fuck. This is sent in by Uber McPhailsauce. It's from Squidoo.com. Great 80s metal guitarists that put the focus on their bands.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, these are 10 great guitarists in metal bands from the 80s who weren't like your Eddie Van Halen's or your center stage
Okay,
guys.
I like that.
That they were good team players, so to speak. I'm trying to. Okay. So, number 10. Oh, wait, let's see. Who wrote this? Why don't anybody put their name on anything? Alright, let me scroll down to the bottom. Yeah, I seriously, I gotta like dig to find out who wrote these lists, and it doesn't say. It doesn't say, so I'm not. Alright. Written by some person. Oh, here it is. Their name is Play Guitar Today. That's their internet handle. So number 10, we have Craig Goldie, who was the guitarist for Dio.
Okay.
So you don't really, and that's true, because when you think of Dio, you think of, well, Ronnie James Dio. But certainly had a lot of great guitar work.
Definitely.
Number 9, Reb Beach. He was the guitarist, still is the guitarist in Winger. So
I know you like Winger.
You know I like Winger. So that definitely works there. Number 8 is Vito Bratta. He was the guitarist in White Lion. They were good, but I don't know, man.
I don't know about top 10, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Number 7 is Janik Gers, who was one of the 3 guitarists in Iron Maiden. He's still in Iron Maiden, actually. It's funny because Janik Gers, I mean, you really do think of Adrian Smith as being the main guitarist, so it's nice that somebody gives Janik Gers some credit here, because he is...
Yeah, and he's definitely a team player, so yeah.
Number 6 is Rudolf Schenker, who, it's funny because Rudolf Schenker has been in the Scorpions for like forever, and is still overshadowed by his more famous brother Michael Schenker, who left the Scorpions like very early on in their career.
I always find that odd.
So this guy is stuck with the band for like 4 decades, and Michael Schenker went out and had a solo career, and it's like nobody cares about his brother, So definitely, I mean, because the emphasis is on the band, I guess. When you think of who's famous in the Scorpions, you could say that Klaus Meine is kind of famous, but for the most part, you think of them as
just the Scorpions,
unit.
yeah.
Yeah. Number 5 is Jeff Young, who apparently had, according to this, a short but brilliant metal career. I don't even know who this guy is. Oh, apparently he was on one Megadeth album, which was So Far, So Good, So What. Megadeth has kind of had a revolving door of rhythm guitarists, and it is true that when you think of guitar, you think of Megadeth, you think of Dave Mustaine. I don't know that I'd consider him as being the guy who put the emphasis on the band. He was only on one album.
I have to disagree with that, actually.
I see what it is, though. The person, I mean, So Far, So Good, So What is their favorite Megadeth album, so I can see that that's a personal choice in this case. But I don't, it's a personal choice I don't happen to agree with. Number 4 is Vivian Campbell, who, aside from having a woman's name, he was in Dio, he was in Whitesnake, he was in the River Dogs, and he's currently in Def Leppard. So this is a true session musician who's bounced around and done a lot of great work.
Yeah, definitely.
Number 3 is Jake E. Lee, who was in... well, I guess he's most known for being one of the many guitarists that work with Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, and I guess he's the least famous of them because you think of, like Zakk Wylde.
Oh, I always think of Zakk Wylde, yeah.
His guitarist, yeah. Or Randy Rhoads, Randy Rhoads, of course, is dead now. Yeah. But I don't know though. Jakey Lee, I mean, Bark at the Moon was great, so I'll give him credit. Number 2 is John Sykes. He's been in a couple of bands, mostly known for Whitesnake and Thin
I'm not that
Lizzy,
fun.
and he is sort of in the
I'm not that
background
fond of
there.
either
So there
band
you go.
actually, so it's kind of, yeah.
Really? Oh. And number one is Mick
Really?
Mars, who is the guitarist in
Really?
Motley Crue. And this is certainly a guy who's never sought out the spotlight, but Motley Crue is just
I don't think they're
okay. I don't
anything
know that they're that great.
great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This was a pretty good list, though. I'm gonna give it a
I'm
7 out of
actually going to
10.
give it a 6.
6, okay. So 7 and a 6. Let's move along. This next one was sent in by Mr. Lover of Ganja, and this is another metal
Yes.
list. It's the top 10. Okay, alright, it's not working. Give me a second here. I got a 404 error here. I pasted it. Okay, it tries to go to it, but then it doesn't work. Let me see if I can find it on Google or something. It was the top 10 sci-fi themed heavy metal songs. Let's see if I could find it on Google. Top 10 sci-fi themed metal songs. Because it seems that the website, rosebudmag.com, has changed their design and the URL is different now. So that it wasn't working, but I got it now. Here it is. Okay, it's working. Okay, so top 10 sci-fi themed heavy metal songs. Let me just ask you, what would you expect to see on this? Any particular song that you would expect to see? There's been a lot of science fiction.
Yeah, there has.
Metal, you know?
Wow. Honestly, I wouldn't know where to begin. There's so many good ones out there.
Well, certainly, I don't have much hope for Arion showing up.
I would love to
hope
see
so.
Arion show up. Yeah.
I would expect to see something more like Iron Maiden's
Iron Maiden
album.
or sci-fi. Hell, you can also even put in even Queen.
Yeah,
they
did. A lot of
did.
science
So
fiction
I mean,
stuff. Okay, so let's see what's on here. Number 10 is Space Truckin' by Deep Purple. I mean, okay, yeah, it has the word space in it, and it's, about, like, taking a truck into space, I guess, but I consider that to be not so much sci-fi and more psychedelic.
I agree. Yeah.
So I don't know that really belongs here. Number 9 is Anthrax's song "I Am the Law," which of course is based on Judge Dredd, which is definitely science fiction. So I'll give him that.
It is.
Plus, it's a good song. Number 8 is "When Stars Collide, Born Is He" by Iced Earth. Now I gotta take exception to that because Iced Earth has done plenty of science fiction stuff. So why did they pick one that sucks?
Nice point.
Terrible album. Framing Armageddon, terrible album. They should have picked the original Something Wicked
was
as
great.
the science fiction. Yeah. Okay, number 7, by the band Lion, the Transformers theme.
Yeah, okay.
Transformers. No, not that one. Not that. The one from the movie.
Oh.
The
animated
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a really cool. I remember that now.
That was a cool song. It also played at the very end of the game Transformers War for Cybertron.
That's a really good song. I like that song.
Yeah, and that's definitely science fiction, so there you go. Number 6 is Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. Now, I gotta take exception to this. Great song, great album, great band. Is it really science fiction, though? Operation Mindcrime is more of a political statement about mind control in the media and religion and politics. It's not really science fiction.
I can see how it can be construed as science fiction, considering all the mind control and things like that.
But it's done through it's done through old-fashioned brainwashing techniques. It's not like a Clockwork Orange or anything. It's not futuristic.
It's more political than anything else. So,
yeah, it doesn't belong on here. Number 5 is Dead Sky Dawning by Hypocrisy. Really, you can just pick any Hypocrisy song because all they sing about is aliens and flying saucers
Yeah,
and stuff like
exactly.
that. So yeah, I mean that album was called The Arrival and it had a
Yeah.
bunch of aliens on the cover.
Yep.
So there you go. Definitely good song though. Good song. Number 4 is Men, Martians, and Machines by Gamma Ray. It's interesting. Not a huge Gamma Ray fan, especially this is from the late '90s output. All they do is science fiction metal. Actually, I would have liked to seen something off of their new album, which I think was actually a huge improvement over what they usually do.
Listen to it, so I wouldn't know.
So, okay. Number 3 is Colony by In Flames.
Yes.
In Flames is a really cool band. And Colony, I mean, it's about cyborgs. So, I mean, there you go. Number 2 is Iron Man by Black Sabbath. And certainly that's
one of my
definitely
favorite
science fiction.
songs, too. I love that one.
What's interesting is that almost everybody assumes that Iron Man is about the
It's actually not.
Character. No, it's about a time travel story. So, I mean, everybody think. I mean, it was even used in the Iron Man movies. Yeah, but it's not about Iron Man, though. Yeah. And number 1, really interesting. To Tame a Land by Iron Maiden. Not the particular Iron Maiden song they would have picked, but an awesome song, and it is about Dune.
It's an awesome song. I give it that, but I wouldn't have picked that one for sci-fi, though. I don't think I would have.
How about anything off of their latest album, which was called
that
The Final
I would have
Frontier.
picked. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, anything.
It's a great song. Don't get me wrong. It's an awesome song. But...
Yeah, To Tame a Land is amazing. I mean, it is about Dune, so I can see why they picked it. A lot of people, they're so stuck on the old Iron Maiden that they don't want to give the new albums a chance, and I think that's
too bad too.
Here. I think this is a good list for the most part. There's a few weird things on here that don't necessarily belong, but I don't. There's nothing on here that's like other than the Iced Earth. Everything on here is like, good. And so I'm gonna give it an 8
out of 10. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so next is a list written by one of my subscribers, The Return of Kali Yuga, and this is our other top 100 list. This is his top 100 favorite video games. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to do it like the other one, 10 at a time. Number 10, listen to me. Number 100. Number 100 is Mega Man 7. Number 99 is Crystallis. Number 98 is Double Dragon. I just want to stop there for a second. He's not specifying
just of all time.
System,
okay.
So, yeah. So with Double Dragon, I don't know if he means the arcade one or the NES one, or because they are different.
NES.
So I'm just going to assume that he means the arcade one.
I'm going to assume he means the arcade one. I was assuming the NES one, but okay.
Well, you're assuming the NES one was better. Number 97 is Shining Force. Number 96 is World Champions. Number 95 is Redneck Rampage. Number 94 is Ninja Gaiden 3. Number 93 is Metroid. Number 92 is Shining in the Darkness. And number 91 is Fatal Fury. Now, I have two comments. One is that he's probably the only person that thinks Shining in the Darkness is better than Shining Force. I was just going to say, I mean, I love Shining in the Darkness, but I think Shining Force is awesome, so... my other comment is that Crystallis...
come on, Necro. Come
on. Terrible game.
I'm sorry, I like Crystallis.
I'm sorry, if you're trying to do like an RPG, Zelda type of action RPG, and you can't even get the controls right, where basically you can't even approach an enemy from a certain direction because of a flaw in the collision detection. That should have been tested right out in the beginning. Maybe
it's just because of how good I was at it. Not floating my own boat here, but...
I never had the patience for Crystallis. I always just like well, okay, I might as well just play Zelda.
I like
I'm
Crystallis,
sorry,
but I
but
will say that Shining in the Darkness
I thought it was
should have
terrible.
been a bit lower on the list, and Shining Force would have been higher. So
Yeah. Number 90 is Mega Man X3. Number 89 is Resident Evil. Once again, he doesn't say which one, so I'm going to assume he means the original. Number 88 is Wild Arms. Number 87 is Popful Mail. And this is the only time so far that he puts the system, Sega CD. I know it was the only system it was on. Number 86 is Ghosts and Goblins. Don't know what version, so I'm going to assume it's the arcade one. Number 85 is Super Punch Out. This is why you gotta. I gotta stop here for a second. This is why you gotta include systems, because there's two separate games called Super Punch Out. Now, in this case, I'm going to assume he means the newer one because that's the most
Super NES,
one on Super NES. Number 84 is Mick Kids. Number 83 is Legacy of the Wizard. Number 82 is Bubsy 2. And number 81 is Toe Jam and Earl. Okay. Now, a lot of people would expect me to jump all over Mick Kids, but I actually thought it was an okay game. I am going to, however, jump on Bubsy 2.
oh, come on, not my Toe Jam and Earl. Oh, man.
Toe Jam and Earl was stupid. I like the second one.
Toe Jam and Earl is a classic, though. It really is. It is a classic. Come on now. It is a classic.
It's completely random, and it can be unwinnable if you don't
It's
get a good
true, but it
configuration.
is a classic, and it's bad
design. Terrible design. Bubsy, you can't.
No,
you're not
fuck
going to defend
Bubsy.
Bubsy 2, though, are you? Bubsy 2
I
is
can't stand
terrible to him. All right. Number 80, he says Duke Nukem. I don't know if he means Duke Nukem 3D or if he means the original Duke Nukem. I'm going to assume he means Duke Nukem 3D because not many people have played the original. Number 79 is Mega Man X4. Number 78 is Dragon Quest, which he calls Dragon Warrior, of course. Number 77, Soul Blade. Number 76, Donkey Kong Country 3. Number 75, Shadow Warrior. Number 74, Jazz Jackrabbit. Number 73, Redneck Rampage Rides Again. Number 72, Final Fight 2. Number 71, Street Fighter 3. He doesn't say which version, so I'm going to assume just in general. And number 70 is Blood. No particular issues, although I do notice he seems to have a hard-on for that
I saw
Redneck
that.
Rampage.
Yeah, I've never even played this. I have no idea.
It was stupid fun, you know. Typical 90s output. Okay, I'm actually going to go back on what I said about Duke Nukem. I think he does mean the original, because number 69 is Duke Nukem 2.
Original then.
So there's no mistaking that. There's only one Duke Nukem 2. Number 68 is Secret of Evermore. Number 67 is Rock and Roll Racing. Number 66 is Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to assume he means the original. Number 65 is DuckTales 2. Number 64 is Mega Man 5. Number 63 is Ninja Gaiden 2. Number 62 is Ghouls and Ghosts. And number 61 is Legacy of Kain. He doesn't say which one. Does he mean Blood Omen or Soul Reaver?
Blood Omen, but...
I bet it's the original, so I guess so. But Blood Omen was dumb. Soul Reaver was way better. What the hell? Secret of Evermore?
Really? I could never get into that game. I know I'm going to get some flack for this probably, but I can't help it. I just never could get into that game at all. I tried. Couldn't do it.
Well, there's a reason it's terrible. I mean, it was touted as being sort of a spiritual sequel to, you know, Secret of Mana, and they didn't even release it in Japan.
It just wasn't good.
I mean, that's bad when you have an RPG made by Square that they didn't release in Japan. It just
wasn't good. It just wasn't. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Moving along here. Number 60, Magic Sword. Really. Number 59, Mortal Kombat 4. Number 58, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He does specify the NES one, which most people don't like, but it wasn't bad. Number 57, Final Fantasy Legend 2, or Saga 2, depending on where you're from. Number 56, Batman Returns, the Super NES one. Number 55, Twisted Metal. Number 54, Ark the Lad. Number 53, Bolt. He's specifying the DS version of Bolt. Number 52, Toe Jam and Earl 2. And number 51, Super Mario Land. Super Mario Land very low on this list. Toe Jam and Earl, at least he acknowledges it's better than the original.
What is
Bolt,
Bolt
what the
on there?
hell,
That's a
man?
little odd.
That was, I mean,
Yeah, I
that
know.
was
Yeah.
that movie with the dog. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was good, but I kind of Magic
Magic Sword. That's
Sword,
that's
really?
intriguing, actually.
I mean, that was on. I'm trying to think if I'm thinking of the same game here.
That's what
Wasn't that
I'm
on
thinking. Am I
NES?
wrong about that? Or
Okay, all right. Because I think I've played it on NES. Let me
because
look this
I'm
up
thinking
real quick.
NES version.
Because I'm thinking on NES and I'm thinking it sucked. Let's see, Magic Sword NES. See if I'm thinking of the wrong. Okay, I have it on Super NES. Oh, okay, no, all right, all right. I have done a video of the Super
Oh,
NES version.
okay.
And I liked it. As a matter of fact, my description of the video is
Oh,
"This
wow.
game
Okay, cool.
rules." So, you know what? I'm confusing it with something else. Then that must
That's
be
what I
it.
was
I'm
thinking
thinking
of
of
too.
an
It's really
NES
weird.
game. Yeah. All right, moving along. You have anything
No,
to say
not
about those?
really. I'm just. I was glad to see Batman Returns with SNES on there. Actually, I love that game.
Batman Returns is kind of an interesting turn your brain off and just have
Yeah, I
fun
liked it.
type of game. You know, it really is completely mindless,
It
but
is fun as hell.
fun as hell. Um, Number 50 is Zelda 2: Adventure of Link. Number 49, derp derp, is Final Fantasy Adventure, or Holy Sword Legend, or Mystic Quest, depending on where you're from. Number 48 is Mega Man. Number 47 is Duck Hunt. Number 46 is Super Mario Brothers. Number 45 is Biofighters. What? Number 44 is Duke Nukem 2 again. He's included it twice. That's a big no-no. Number 43 is Quake. Number 43 is Hexen. And number 41 is Marvel vs. Capcom.
Two
Okay, what the
different
hell,
twos, huh?
man? Yeah, all right. So that's a big strike. I mean, I hate when people do that. You get your shit in order. You use the same thing twice. Is Mega Man 1 better than Mega
No.
Man 5 and 7?
No.
No.
Mega
Not even
Man 2 is my
close.
favorite, but that's
Um,
personal, you know.
Yeah, four is my personal favorite. Not the original. Well, I mean, I'm assuming he has more Mega Man. As a matter of fact, I see a few Mega Man games on here. It's just weird,
That
you
is,
know.
I
What the
never
hell
heard
is
of it.
Biofighters? I don't know that
Yeah,
game, so I'm gonna look it up real quick because I don't know
my,
what he's
my
talking
brain
about.
like screwed up as soon as you said that because I have no idea what that is.
Biofighters. Okay, hold on. Apparently, there's toys and exterminator things called Biofighters video game. Oh, I see. All right, we he must be from Europe or something. We know it as Biofreaks.
Okay. No, it
It
wasn't
wasn't
great.
that good. All right, moving on. Strange list. Number 40 is Mega Man 8. Number 39 is Saga Frontier. Number 38 is E-SWAT. Number 37 is Chrono Cross. Number 36 is Arc the Lad 2. Number 35 is Mega Man 10. Number 34 is Eek the Cat. Number 33 is Mean Bean Machine, or I guess you would say Puyo Puyo, really. Number 32 is Altered Beast, and number 31 is
You mean to
Quake
tell me Altered
3.
Beast is better than Chrono Cross? I do not think so.
Altered Beast sucked.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Altered Beast sucked. Eek
Eat the Cat is better than
also
Chrono Cross?
sucked.
No. Just no.
And
I
what
have
the
no
hell
idea.
is E-SWAT? And this rarely happens. Another game I gotta look
I've
up. Let's
heard of it.
see. E-SWAT City Under Siege. It was on Sega Genesis. It says, I don't know. It just looking at the cover, it looks stupid. Let me see. Let me look it up on like YouTube and see if I can find a video of it to see what it looks like. I might have played it for all I know. It looks like a shinobi with robots. So, not too bad, but not to be sharing a
I'm
list
sorry,
with
Chrono
some of these
Cross.
other ones. Then again, he's got Eat
Chrono
the Cat on
Cross
there.
should
I
be
mean,
way down in like maybe like top 10 or something, not
I'm just still. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on this fucking eat the
Eat
cat.
the
That was a
cat.
terrible,
I
terrible
can't
piece of
believe
shit game.
that.
All right, I'm gonna move on before I throw up in my mouth. Number 30 is Descent. Number 29 is Bolt again, but he's specifying the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 version this time. Number 28 is Duke Nukem 3D. Number 27 is Metal Gear Solid. Number 26 is Heretic. Number 25 is Wolfenstein 3D. Number 24 is Street Fighter Alpha. Number 23 is Golden Axe. Number 22 is Shining Force 2. And number 21 is Call of Duty 3.
Is Descent the one I'm thinking of for like Windows 95?
Probably. It was that shooter where you could move around kind of freely and
Yeah, and you're
up
like
and
a
down,
cop
left
or
and
something
right,
like that. Yeah, is that,
Yeah,
I
it was a
wondering if
pretty
that's what
cool
I was
game.
thinking of. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I played it on PlayStation. A lot of issues here. I mean, okay, well, Bolt again, really. He's got some classic first-person shooters. He's got Duke Nukem 3D. He's got Heretic. He's got Wolfenstein 3D. And then he's got a weird one like Call of Duty 3, which I might add is the only Call of Duty game that he has on this entire list. And it's pretty much the
I'm glad
worst
he's got
one in the
Shining Force
series.
2. That's a beautiful game, so I'm glad about that.
You could tell from this list that he had a Sega
definitely.
Genesis when he was a kid. I can't get over Call of Duty 3 because I mean, okay, if you like Call of Duty, that's great. I like it too. 3 is the worst one, and you're putting it above Wolfenstein 3D, Heretic, Descent, Quake 3. I mean, Duke Nukem 3D. You're putting it up all these classics. Very strange. All right, we're gonna move on because it's weird list here. Number 20 is GoldenEye. Number 19 is Super Mario. Okay, that's the second time you have Super Mario World on there. So that's another twofer there. That's the first time we've had somebody do it twice on a list. Maybe one of those was supposed to be Yoshi's Island, but it doesn't say that. Number 18 is The Simpsons game, the one on Xbox 360. Number 17 is Twisted Metal 2. Number 16 is Final Fantasy X. Number 15 is Dragon Quest 7, which he calls Dragon Warrior 7. Number 14 is Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Number 13 is Castlevania 3. Number 12 is Final Fantasy 5. Number 11 is Chrono Trigger. Okay, really weird.
The numbering is really odd, especially for the Final Fantasy games and the Chrono Trigger.
I mean, yeah, and just having The Simpsons in there. I mean, the Xbox 360 one, not like the arcade one, or I mean, that's just weird. And Twisted Metal 2 is really high.
I mean, it was a good game, but it wasn't great. It wasn't like stupendous or anything.
Yeah. But is it better than Super Mario World?
No, it's not better than. It's definitely not better than like Final Fantasy X.
Yeah. It's not even better than Super Mario World.
No, that's
once.
weird.
So okay, here's his top 10. Number 10 is Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, which he calls Dawn of Sorrows for whatever reason. Number 9 is Super Metroid. Number 8 is Super Castlevania. I assume he means Super Castlevania 4. Number 7, Final Fantasy 6. Number 6, Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. Number 5, Halo 3. Number 4, Super Mario 64. Number 3, Final Fantasy 7. Number 2, Castlevania Symphony of Night. And number 1, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
I'm glad he's got Final Fantasy 6 in there, but 7 better than 6? Really? Really?
7's not better than 6. Halo 3 doesn't even
Halo
belong
3?
on the list.
Really?
Super Mario 64. I hate to say it, but it is overrated.
And I'm sorry, but I've never been fond of the Halo series, but Halo 3? 3?
If you're gonna pick one Halo, why not Reach?
Halo 3, really?
Very
yeah.
Weird. Okay, so that was his top 100 list. I find it to be highly questionable. I mean, just for example, just to point something out, according to him, the best Mega Man game was 10. I mean, I mean, I'm not alone in thinking that's weird, right?
To me, it's a big fat second now.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just There's too many games on here that are blatantly bad, and I'm not even talking about popular
Eat the
games that I
cat.
happen not to like. I'm not talking about Altered Beast. I'm talking about Eek the Cat and Bubsy 2. Bubsy 2 is a piece of shit. Very, very. This is probably the weirdest top 100 list I've ever read.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time even thinking of what
I don't
number
know.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna say 43
huh?
out of 100.
I,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
43.
say.
Seems fair.
I'm gonna say 39. Yeah.
You're going even lower. Okay.
No,
We're
no,
not that
just...
far off, though. Okay. All right. Well, that was weird. Let's move on to. Here's a list. Two lists I have sent in by the Moogle Master. These are lists that he wrote. Now I'm gonna let you choose which one you want to hear first. He has his top 10 Super NES game soundtracks and his top 10 worst
Let's hear the soundtracks first. I like that.
These are both good ideas for lists. Let's see how he does it. Okay, top 10 Super NES game soundtrack. Of course, remember that this is not the game that he's judging, but the soundtrack. Number 10 is Super Mario World.
It did.
It's true, that had a great soundtrack. There are times I'll be walking around and it'll be in my head.
My favorite track of Super Mario World is from the Secret World.
What the boop 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 boop.
You know when you're in the secret area and off of Star World and you let the music go and then it goes into the remix of the original.
Oh, the glass drum theme. Yeah. Okay. That was cool.
Yeah,
I
really
had to wait
like that,
forever
though.
to hear it though, but that was cool. Interesting Easter egg there. Number 9 is Secret of Mana. Now, I'm not a fan of the game. You're not a fan of the game.
The music in that game is fantastic.
The music's better than the game.
My favorite tracks on there are Dark Star and that battle there with Thanatos, whatever it's called.
For me, it's just the title screen. The title theme is like an unfulfilled promise because it promises this truly epic adventure just from the music, and then of course you get this really quirky kind of goofy game. But once again, like I said, the music is better than the game.
Yeah.
Number 8, Final Fantasy V, and certainly a
Battle on the
dramatic
Big
soundtrack.
Bridge, Exodus. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was thinking more of like when the planets were shaking apart, the crystals breaking, the title theme again, which was like the promise of an epic adventure, except this time Square delivered. Final Fantasy V did have great music. Number 7, Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island.
That one.
No, I do agree with that. When you're not hearing Mario scream his head off,
I think it's probably why I disagree with it.
Remember, it's the music we're judging, not the sound effects. Now, number 6, he says Prince of Persia. I don't know if he means what version of Prince of Persia he means. I don't think the original
it didn't have music at all, actually. I don't think, did it?
Yeah. It had it had some MIDI stuff from what I remember, but it was very...
I'm thinking of Sands of Time. That's what I'm thinking he's going.
He could mean Sands of Time, or he could mean the new one. I don't know. Prince of Persia. I don't know. They all pretty much, starting with Sands of Time, they all did have pretty good music. So, number 5 is Street Fighter 2. Guile's song goes with everything. Oh, those are all classic themes. So there you go. Number 4 is Chrono Trigger.
Hell yeah!
One of the best on the Super NES, right there. Okay, now number 3 is a game that neither of us like, is Earthbound.
No. This is a big...
Now, trying to judge.
During the final battle, their music is blah. It's just blah.
I gotta say, there's a few good themes,
No,
but I don't think
honestly,
it's top
from a
10
musical
material.
perspective, no, no.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I honestly, I think Earthbound is a game that fails on every front, but there are a few good themes. I'll give it that, but I don't think
Especially not
it's
like
anywhere
Chrono
near
Trigger
top
or
10
anything like
material.
that. No, definitely not.
No. Number 2 is
Oh, one
Final
of the best
Fantasy
soundtracks in
VI.
video game history. Come on.
Oh, wait. I mean, who could forget Terra's theme, Dancing Mad,
Science team,
the
I love
Opera
that one too.
House?
Or the or
Come on.
Empire theme. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and Final
Huh?
Fantasy. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm just
What are you
getting
doing?
water for the rats. That's all I'm doing.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like,
No, no,
it
just
sounds
getting
like you're in
water.
the
Sorry,
bathroom.
folks.
So okay, Final Fantasy VI is the only video game soundtrack that I know of that legitimately has a 17-minute song.
Yeah, I
So
have to
there's that
agree.
too. And his number one pick for best soundtrack on a Super NES title
Final
is
Fantasy
Final Fantasy
IV,
IV.
really?
I think that I don't think it's technically as good as 6, but I can see it having that sort of nostalgia factor. Who doesn't remember the boss battle theme
Well,
for
that's
Final
true. I mean,
Fantasy
come on now.
IV? You know what
Or
I
the
mean?
Four Fiends. I mean, hell.
The four, yeah, exactly. So I can see it sort of having that nostalgic value. You know what I'm? Okay, obviously this was a list that was almost. Oh, you know what?
Why are we
We're
idiots?
idiots, Tanya. Because we were sitting there discussing what version of Prince of Persia he's talking about, and this is a list of Super NES game soundtracks.
I'm an idiot.
So we're both. Yeah,
Sorry, folks. I just
we're
I just
fucking
became an
idiots.
idiot. Derp.
Derp, derp. I'm gonna give +1 to what I would have given his list just
Yeah,
for
me
that,
too.
just to make up for that idiocy. But okay, but you know what I'm shocked not to see on here. Obviously, it's a list dominated by RPGs, of course, which you would expect for soundtracks. But
I was just
no
gonna say
love
Super
for
Castlevania
Castlevania
4. No,
4.
no love for that.
I mean, that was one of the first games on the Super NES that really used that Sony sound chip in there, and then
Well,
people were like,
it was
"Wow, it
that
sounds
soundtrack
good,"
was a masterpiece on its own. So it's like
Yeah, that is a
I'm glad he's got
glaring
like Final
omission
Fantasy
right there.
6 and Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy, you know, Final Fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna use my veto power to take out
Oh, I
Earthbound
love
and put
you.
in Super
Yes.
Castlevania. No, but okay. I normally would have given this list a 8, but I'm gonna give it a 9 because we acted like idiots.
I'm gonna
about
give
the
it a
Prince of
9 as
Persia
well
thing.
because again the idiotic factor. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, oh
I
wait,
can't
Super
believe
NES
it.
herp derp. I'm an idiot for not realizing
Yep.
that, and you're an idiot for
Yep.
not catching it. We're both morons. Okay, well, moving on. His other list is his top 10 worst rock groups ever. And just glancing at it, I can tell I'm not going to like this list. Number 10 is... Okay, this guy's clearly got no love for the 80s. Number 10 is Poison. Are you telling me you don't like Every Rose Has Its Thorn, or
What?
Talk Dirty to Me? Or,
Really?
I mean, really? He must not have
Poison.
grown up in that era. But Poison's
Classic.
great. They still are.
Poison.
I don't. Okay, number 9 is Kiss. Now, I certainly would expect to see them on a list of most overrated rock groups, but
Kisses.
not on a
I
list
mean,
of
they're not
worst.
my particular cup of tea, but they're great.
I mean, the thing is, like, okay, you don't like Kiss, you think they're overrated, that's great. Are they really one of the worst rock groups out there? I mean, there's some real
Oh
fucking
yeah,
terrible shit
Kiss is
out there.
classic. They're classic, and a lot of people think that they're one of the best bands there is. So it's like
Even if you don't like
They-
it,
they
you
do.
have to admit they
They
have some
do.
good songs.
and then they got talent.
Number Yeah, number 8 is the Spin Doctors. Now, I could kind of see being kind of thrown by the Spin Doctors when you get songs like Pocket Full of Kryptonite or Two Princes that are played heavily on the radio, and then you buy the album and you find out that they're a blues band.
I could.
It can throw you,
Yeah,
but they
I don't
were
know. That's
good.
kind of up in the air for me. It's
I mean,
not worse.
Worst, really? No, no. Certainly one of the biggest
That's
examples
true.
of a bait
Yeah,
and switch.
that's true.
Yeah. Number 6 is. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm skipping one here. Number 7 is Bon
come
Jovi.
on.
I mean, really?
These are my favorites. Oh man.
Really? Really?
Wanted Dead or
Bon Jovi?
Alive, Living
Really?
on a Prayer. Really? These days?
These days?
It,
One of the best albums to come out
Yeah?
in the mid-90s was These Days,
I-
I thought. Yeah, that's just a mess right there. It doesn't get any better. Number 6 is Winger. I mean, obviously he's got a bend against hair metal.
What's going on here?
But Richie was kind of a Winger hater
Well,
until I played him some
he
of
was
their
against
songs.
the band in general, but then he likes to solo stuff.
Well, he was stuck on
Yeah.
17, and that was. But the thing is, okay, that was one song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there you go. Number 5 is Warrant, which he didn't even spell right. Once again, like he's just clearly got a hate boner for hair metal. But it goes modern after that. Number 4 is Limp Bizkit. Now
They do suck, but they're not one of the worst, though.
I could come up with 10
no, that's
worst
not one
bands,
of them.
though.
No.
Number 3 is My Chemical Romance. Now, all right, I have to admit, I've never even heard them.
And
So
I have to
can't
also
comment one way or
do an
the other.
admission here. I've never heard one song of theirs.
I actually have one of their CDs laying around. It's still in its shrink wrap. That it came. It was back when the music clubs were a thing, like BMG and Columbia House. I belonged to both of them, and sometimes it was hard to keep up with the things. Going on the website and picking which, because they would just send you CDs
Right.
unless you said no, don't send it to me. And I guess I had a lapse and I didn't click off of it, and I wound up getting this My Chemical Romance CD. I've never even opened it. They don't interest me, but I don't know. I've heard a lot of bad things about them, but I can't really
comment about them
because
either.
I haven't listened
No.
to them. Number 2 is the Dave Matthews Band. Once again, very overrated. I don't like Dave Matthews, at least as a musician. I thought he was okay as an actor, but
They're not the
really
worst. I don't like
worst.
them personally, but they're not the worst, though. No.
Yeah. And number 1 is it says Crazy Train. Now I don't know a band.
I would
named
say I know a
Crazy-
song named Crazy Train, but I don't know a
called Crazy
band.
Train, but I don't. By Ozzy Osbourne, but let me look this up there. I better put Crazy Train into Google, and okay, the first thing I get is Crazy Train is a song written by Ozzy Osbourne. But let me see if there's a disambiguation or something. All right, let me see. Crazy Train Band. Okay, I just get a bunch of marching bands performing Crazy Train by Ozzy
Weird.
Osbourne. If there is a band called Crazy Train, then I don't know who the hell they are. Okay, I found a band called Crazy Train. I found their website, but it's an Ozzy tribute band.
Okay.
So I really don't know.
Maybe it's
Maybe
a local
they're
thing.
terrible. Yeah, it is a local thing, but I don't. If you're, I mean, when you think of like the worst bands ever, you don't think of like tribute bands. I don't know what this guy's talking about. I don't know who Crazy Train is supposed to be, or if he's. I don't know. It's a terrible, terrible list. I mean, I will admit that Limp Bizkit sucks ass, and that I don't like Dave Matthews, but for the most part,
Can you really
I mean,
put Bon Jovi on that
really?
list? I mean, come on. Poison?
1 out of 10.
I have
I
to
can't give him
wholeheartedly
anything more than
agree.
that.
1 out of 10.
Yeah. All right, moving on. This is sent in by Insane Wayne 253. Now, Insane Wayne is interesting. He is one of the oldest zombie sneak attack fans out there. That he was a ZSA fan back in 2001. Yeah. So this is kind of interesting. Sometimes I get some interesting messages from him.
And I'm a recent ZSA fan, so there we go.
Wait, after we get done here, Tanya, I gotta send you
my latest
thing from CSA. It's called, it's my epic. It's called the Big Bang Theory. Okay, Insane Wayne 253 has sent in his top 10 most disturbing movies.
Oh, I like this already. All right, lay it on me.
Anything that you'd expect to see on here?
I would expect to see not Last House on the Left. What the hell is it? They did a remake of it recently. It when they're out when they have the.
I know. Yeah, he's not going for horror movies here. He's going for just
disturbing in general.
Just disturbing in general. Yeah. Well, you'll see what I mean when he has one horror.
Really?
He has like one or two horror movies on here. Yeah. Number 10, he has Aftermath, which that had it had graphic depictions of dead bodies being dissected, and then I think somebody had sex
that's pretty
with
disturbing.
Dead body
So
in that movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's number 10. Number 9 is August Underground's Mortem, which was sort of a take on the myth of snuff films. There's actually no such thing as a snuff film. It's never been done, but there's been a lot of movies about it.
Okay.
So it's pretty gross. Number 8 is Flower of Flesh and Blood, which I haven't seen this, but I've heard of it. And basically, you got this nutcase who dresses up like an old Japanese warrior or something, and then he kidnaps women and he drugs them and he brings them home and he just like cuts them up and then like makes like a
that's
display
pretty fucked
of
up.
body
Okay.
parts. Yeah. This guy's seen some fucked up films if he's seen all these. Number 7 is The Devil's Experiment, which is sort of an old school version of like a Hostel.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Torture.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Number 6 is Penance. Now, I've never heard of this one, so let me read what he wrote. What if Rick Santorum went even more dipshit crazy and a stripper falls into his hands as he tries to change her evil ways? Oh, so I guess that would be like an old school version of like Red State. Yeah. Number 5 is Cannibal Holocaust. That one kind of goes without saying. Yeah. Number 4 is Salo, which had a lot of S&M stuff in it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, well, it wasn't like, like sexy dominatrix. I mean, I'm talking about like kidnapping teenagers and torturing them for pleasure, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it wasn't like, the live bondage stuff that you see on websites. Yeah. I mean, it was severely violent. Salo usually turns up as the most disturbing movie of all time, so it's interesting to see what he's put after that. Number 3 is Tumbling Doll of Flesh, and I've never heard of that one, so I'm going to read what he wrote here. He says, at first it starts harmless, but just wait until the last couple of scenes where there's lots and lots of dismemberment and a guy gets his balls cut off. That sounds terrible.
I must see this movie.
Number 2 is Angel's Melancholy. I've never heard of this one, so I'm going to read what he wrote. When I saw this, I could barely understand it. It starts off as an art film, but turns into one big fucked up situation with lots of dead animals, scat, and torture. Very hard to watch the first time. Keep in mind this is not released in the United States, only available in Germany. They certainly like their scat over in Germany, I'll tell you that much. I'm surprised Pink Flamingos didn't make the list with all the shit eating in that one. Yeah. And number 1, I've heard of this one, A Serbian Film, it's called. And basically, the Serbian film is like there was this guy who was like a porn star, and he's a retired porn star, and he's like fallen on really hard times, and he actually voluntarily agrees to be in a snuff film so that his family could have
Weird.
money.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually banned in a whole shitload of
Wow.
countries too for being disturbing. That's probably the most recent one on here, unless one of those other ones that I haven't heard of is more recent. Well, he certainly put together an excellent list of
I
the
would
most
have to agree.
disturbing
Yeah.
movies. I'm gonna.
Oh,
Well, I
oh,
mean, you would agree,
most
10 out of
definitely.
10, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of surprised like you didn't see Pink Flamingos, but then again, these are all worse than that.
Yeah. So.
So, there you go. Okay, so that's all the user submitted lists that I have. I do have two lists that I kind of picked out that I thought were amusing. I haven't really looked at them, but I
Okay.
thought that the titles are interesting. So they're both video game related lists. We have. I'm gonna let you pick which one we have. We have the top 10 underwhelming video game boss fights, and we have the top 10 embarrassingly bad moments in
Let's
video
do
game
the embarrassing
marketing.
moments first. That sounds really amusing.
Yeah, that is interesting, right? Okay, so top 10 embarrassingly bad moments in video game marketing. This is from Ranker.com, and it was written by why can I never find Valis. Okay. Okay. Number 10 is the Atari Jaguar Do the
Oh, I
Math
remember that.
campaign, which was like, oh, it's 64 bits, so that means it's better than the Super NES and the Genesis. And no. And also they were doing the thing Jaguar, where they were like war. They were trying
Oh,
to
I
make that
remember
into
that.
like their
Oh, goddess.
catchphrase.
That's horrible.
Yeah, yeah, that that didn't really do them any favors. Not that not that the game
no.
system was doing them any favors. Number 9 is the PSP black and white ad. Now I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show it to you. Hold on. Let me just. It's just embarrassing. First of all, I don't know why. Because okay,
Yeah.
the PSP is black, but apparently at one point they made a white PSP. Which, I mean, okay, whatever.
Black, yeah.
I think it looks better black, but yeah. They made a white PSP, and this is the ad that they used to promote this white PSP. It's just so many things wrong with it.
PlayStation. Oh, just wow.
You got the white woman, and she's got the black eye, and she's like holding his face in a kind of a dominating manner. It kind of like it brings up like images of
so
like
racist.
slavery to me. Really, it really
it's offensive.
It's everything
racist.
about it is racist.
It's
I'd never even seen
embarrassing.
that until
That
today.
really is embarrassing. Wow.
Yeah. Number 8 is for the PlayStation 3, the This Is Living ad campaign. Now, I don't know if you've seen this. It kind of came and went really fast because it was stupid. But they were trying to do like a artistic approach to it, and I don't know. It was stupid.
Oh,
it had nothing to do with video games. Matter of fact, if you'll give me a second here, I'll link you to. I have a YouTube link here. For This Is Living.
Oh boy.
From Sony. Here you go.
That'd be funny. Come on. Here we go. This is living.
Are you wondering what this
Yeah.
has to do with PlayStation? Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, like what? I mean, they're having sex, and like, what is going on? And
it,
it
it,
goes on for six
I
minutes, Tanya.
what?
It goes on for 6 minutes, and in none of the 6 minutes do they show you any PlayStation
What?
3 games.
I,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, wow,
wow.
right? Wow. Number seven is number seven for Battle Cruiser 3000. I don't know if you've heard of that game, but
I,
they tried to they had this ad where they had this hot chick sitting on a stool with her legs so far apart that her knees were in different time zones, and she had the
oh
game
yes,
covering
I
up the
do remember
vagina.
that actually. Oh man.
Yeah. And then later on, they released a censored version where they digitally
Yes,
added like
I remember
panties
that.
there.
Although it's
Yeah, but even but I mean, it's kind of pathetic either way because you're using sex to sell Battle
sex
Cruiser,
at all.
which has
Yeah.
nothing to do with sex. It's kind of like the Evany ads, which I would expect to see somewhere on this list,
Oh, I
where
saw
Evany
those.
was this
Yeah.
weird sort of, you know, almost strategy kind of like very dry sort of game, and they were using
Yeah,
just
I
like
remember that.
close-ups of
Those
boobs.
even made an article in some on some online places where
Yeah.
they said that their advertising was really fucked up because it didn't make any sense. You know.
Oh yeah. It didn't make any. Yeah, it's true. Number six is the blast
I remember
processing for the Genesis.
those.
They were going on about, and what it is nobody knows what blast processing is. Is it a real thing or is it a made up word or nobody knows what it is. So I mean, I don't know what the hell blast processing is supposed
No.
to be. They never explained it. It's sort of like bits when they were using like 16-bit. They were using that for
No.
marketing. It has nothing to
It's
do with graphics. But I don't. Nobody knows what blast processing is. Okay, moving on here. Number five is another PSP ad, and this is sort of the reason I think that the PSP has done much worse in America than it has elsewhere.
no.
The ads are
Yeah.
all terrible. And it was this was the All I Want for
Yes,
Christmas
I
is a
did see
PSP. Have you
that.
seen this?
Yeah. And honestly, I
What
can
the
see why
fuck?
that it did so badly over here after that.
I mean, the only I did see an ad campaign for a while where they had this black kid, and the ad campaign was sort of him saying, "How come no one has a PSP? These games are great." And he would go into like video game stores and stuff and talk about it. I thought that was a really good ad campaign because the point was that the PSP had no buzz, and you had this kid who was going around trying to create buzz in these
Yeah,
commercials,
that's
and I
pretty
thought
good.
that's how you
Yeah.
should advertise it. But I mean, the PSP. All I Want for Christmas is a PSP. It's like something out of a Marky Mark video. It's
It was
just
really bad.
terrible,
If you guys ever seen it, it was just really bad.
embarrassing. Number four was an infamous magazine ad for Daikatana, where it just said, "No game shots, no anything." It just said, "John Romero's about to make you his bitch."
I, I,
And I mean, and this was like the Duke Nukem Forever of its day because, you know, it was for a very long time. It was supposed to come out, and they were really banging on the famous John Romero who had worked on Doom, and left id Software. He worked on Doom. He worked on Quake. He started the company Ion Storm. And all you see is these ads saying, "John Romero's about to make you his bitch," and then a little further
oh
down
my
it says,
god.
"Suck it down." So, and then the game came
It was
out, and
very
it was
meh.
just like,
Yeah, it was very meh.
yeah. So, number three is Peter Moore from, I think he works for, I don't know who the hell he works for actually. I guess he works
Hmm.
for Microsoft, and he showed up at, I think it was E3 with the Grand Theft Auto 4 tattoo on his arm. Yeah, and it looked bad. It was just stupid, you know. And that he got a tattoo to try and market a game that
That's
was not even exclusive
so,
to the system.
yeah. It's just really,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my God.
Number two, I've never even seen this. It's the Lair
The what?
Reviewer's Guide. And Lair was one of the first PlayStation 3 games, and it was
Huh.
also terrible. And it was that flying game with dragons,
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
and yeah, and it had heavy use of the 6-axis, which was before they had the move. There was the 6-axis, which was trying to be like a motion control but failing very badly at it. And basically, the game was getting terrible reviews, so they sent out this pamphlet. They called it a review guide, basically telling people how to play the game. Like they're saying, if you didn't like it, it means you were playing it wrong. It was, yeah. So they sent out this review guide to set the record straight, and obviously
I
gaming
bet.
journalists
I
didn't
bet.
care
Yeah.
for that. So yeah,
That's pretty damn bad.
that's pretty bad. And number one, worst, most embarrassingly bad moment in video game marketing was the unveiling of
Oh,
the
I
N-Gage at
remember
E3.
that. Oh, man.
There was so many things wrong with that. I mean, they come out and Nokia comes out and they clearly had
Not
no
only,
idea what they were talking about. They
oh,
were
it's so
completely out of
bad.
their
It was
element.
so bad.
And the N-Gage was embarrassing, and then they brought out the dancing girls with $2.99 written on their stomachs, and they thought it, and
It was,
nobody
it's,
applauded. Everybody just sat there in shock and like
it's
thinking, "Are
the
you
worst thing.
serious?"
I remember that.
I mean, yeah. I think they were trying to do like what Sony did when they revealed the price of the original PlayStation, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
way lower than people thought it was going to be. But in the case of the N-Gage, it was higher
It
than people
was,
thought it was going to be.
oh,
So yeah, that probably is the most embarrassing moment. Although I gotta say that I think that number two should be the
oh,
PSP Black and
that's
White
not
ad,
just, it's
because
not
it's
just,
just
it literally is offensive. It's so offensive. Yeah.
yeah. So out of 10, I'm actually gonna go ahead and give this a 9 because I think like I said, that the PSP Black and White ad I think was worse than most of these.
Yeah.
So I think the order was a bit off. But other than
I'm going to
that,
say a
yeah,
9 out of
I'm
10
gonna
as
say
well.
9 out of
Yeah.
10. What
That
do you think?
was, wow. Yeah. Memories.
Okay, and here we have the top 10 underwhelming video game
Okay.
boss fights. So, number 10, we have from GoldenEye,
Oh,
Alex
okay, yeah.
Trevelyan. And it's true. I mean, basically, this was a guy who, in the movie was Bond's equal, and in the game, this is a game that most enemies would drop pretty quickly just from a burst of machine gun fire, so it's kind of tough to do a boss battle. So they just basically had the guy running away from you the whole time. He very rarely would turn and fire at you, and you basically ran around killing the same enemies that you'd been killing in every level in the game. You had to go to a computer and activate it and then shoot him until he goes down to the bottom of the cradle, and then he didn't even have a good death scene. Sometimes he'd fall off the cradle, and
Yeah,
sometimes he'd
I
just
remember that.
collapse like
It
every
was
other
very
enemy.
good.
And you didn't even get to see the satellite
Yeah, I
fall
thought that was
in,
really
like in
odd
the
too.
movie.
So yeah.
The Wii game, which is now also on 360 and PS3, it did it better. it was still way, way too easy, and it still basically revolved around him running away from you. But it did make up for it by having the first part where you're running towards him and he's firing the golden eye at you, and that was pretty tough. And he had a good death scene, so that's another reason why I've always said that the Wii version of GoldenEye was better than the Nintendo 64 one. But yeah,
Very
that was
underwhelming.
an underwhelming boss battle. Now, this one's from a game I haven't played, so I'm going to have to kind of take their word for it. Maybe you've played it. Have you played Devil May Cry 4?
Oh, Devil May Cry 4.
Have you played? Have you?
Oh,
the frog
yes.
boss?
Yes,
they're
yes,
saying.
Yes.
It says that he looks like every other enemy in the
game.
Put
it this way:
so.
when you go after the frog boss, it pretty much, it is like any other enemy in the game. It really is. It even plays like it.
I mean, I'm thinking of Devil May Cry as being this badass guy going around fighting demons with swords and guns. And why are you fighting a frog?
It was really stupid. Honestly, it was really stupid.
Yeah, it's number 8 from Metal Gear Solid 2. They have they don't even say the guy's name. Huh. Well, I guess it's the last boss.
I don't know.
I guess it's the last boss. It just says that he has tentacles. I don't know.
I've never played it, so.
Here. Oh, it's Solid. It's Solidus Snake. Why couldn't they just say it's Solidus Snake? Okay, so you fight Solidus at the end of that, and apparently he has tentacles, and apparently it's underwhelming.
I don't either.
I mean,
no.
I don't like that series, but even among fans, they generally consider Metal Gear Solid 2 to be underwhelming in general. Almost everybody and their mother says that 3 was the best.
I don't care myself either, but hey.
Now, I've never even heard of this next game, but I watched the video that comes along with it. It's a game called Sin, and it came out in like 2006. It's an old one, and apparently the boss throughout the whole game is this chick, who is like this evil, corporate type chick, named Alexis Sinclair, and you get to her and basically she flashes her crotch at you and runs away, and that's the end of the game, and you don't
whoa, back
fight
up.
her.
You mean to tell me
anything.
She flashes her vajayjay at you?
Well, she pulls up her skirt and you think you're gonna see something, and then she has a button hidden on her chair, and then lets her get away. And so there's no real ending to the game. And they were supposed to release add-ons that would continue the story, but it never happened.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Number 6, and I do have to agree with this. This is an amazing game, Batman Arkham Asylum. I thought that was really underwhelming. Yeah. Now, this is a game that was full of great boss battles. And the Joker was basically just a big guy that you had to stay away from and wait until he got stuck and then just punch him. It was kind of like something that you would expect to be the first or second boss in the game.
Way too simplistic. Yeah.
Way too simplistic. And this is a game that had an amazing
that was
the
really
Poison
good.
Ivy
Yeah,
battle? That was a good one. Yeah. So
I am?
You are breaking up slightly, by the way. Okay, now it sounds fine. You were robot
Hasta la vista,
for a
Skype.
brief moment there. Number 5 is from Halo 2, and I only played that for a few minutes, so I couldn't tell you. But apparently you fight a big furry.
You what?
According to this. That's what it says. It says battle with a big furry. I'm looking at the video now trying to see what the hell they're talking about. And I'm not seeing any fighting. I'm just seeing him jumping around a lot. I'm seeing the character look at walls and jump and... Oh wait, I almost saw something there. What is that thing? It's just some guy. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on in this video. I'm going to move on. Number 4 is from Resistance Fall of Man. Apparently, the last boss in this was a
A
fusion
fusion
reactor.
reactor.
Yeah, apparently you're just shooting at a pillar while
That's
enemies spawn
kind
around
of
you.
fucky. So yeah.
You know, if this list was written, apparently this list is not completely up to date, but I would expect Mass Effect 3 to be on there,
Oh,
where the last
yeah.
boss is Shields. Number 3 from Ocarina of Time, of all games,
Really?
is Morpha. Now, I kind of get what they're getting at here. Morpha was an okay boss, but the thing is, in the the Water Temple was this huge epic endeavor that a lot of people struggled with to get through, and Morpha at the end was very easy. And the Water Temple had
Yes.
the mid boss Dark Link,
In the whole
which
game,
was one
yeah.
of the best boss battles in the whole game. So I could see that the mid boss being really, really good, and
Me
then
not so.
the
Yeah.
boss of the dungeon itself being kind of very easy. I could see that being underwhelming. I agree with that actually. Now number 2, they have every Street Fighter boss after M Bison.
Well, okay.
Okay, so basically what they're saying is from Street Fighter 3 they're talking about Gil, and from Street Fighter 4 Seth. Um, I don't know how underwhelming they really were. Like, okay, let's talk about Seth first because that's freshest in my mind. Seth was a fairly typical thing where he would kind of like he would hustle you. He would be very easy in the first round, and then in the second
Yes.
round he would go into overdrive. And depending on the character you were playing as, it could be very difficult. I don't know that it was underwhelming. I think that it was actually a really cool battle for a fighting game because you had good music and you had stuff going on in the background that would change depending on how the battle was going. So like when you got him low on health, you would have like
Yeah.
sirens and red
I
lights
remember
going
that.
off and everything would start shaking, and then when you finally beat him the core would explode. I thought it was a really good end boss for a fighting game. As for Gil, he was just ridiculously
I really
hard,
think
so
his
I don't know if you
AI
can call him
was screwed up
underwhelming.
in that. I really do. I still think that to this day. I really do. Yeah.
Gil, you think? I don't think that his AI was screwed up. I think that they were trying to do like a
Oh, I
King of
gotcha.
Fighters
Yeah.
style boss. Think of Magaki from King of Fighters 11. How
Ugh.
he was like fucking
Ugh.
impossible.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. And King of Fighters
Oh, yeah.
11 was
Amazing.
amazing. So
But
yeah, it's funny when I got to the end of King of Fighters 13 and I saw that guy that was like he looked exactly like Magaki. I was like, oh shit. And I beat his fucking ass into the ground like it was nothing. And I thought, well, that was underwhelming. And then Ash Crimson
then you're
comes
like,
back
oh
for one more
fuck,
battle and
man.
beats the shit out of me. So, you know what though? I thought it was cool because, everybody thought Ash was going to be the last boss, and after you fight her, you get that guy that looked like Magaki, and you're like, oh no, it's going to be so hard. And then it was easy, and then Ash comes back and kicks your ass.
No, I
Okay,
don't.
so I don't agree with that one. The Street Fighter ball.
No,
Seth and
definitely
Gil
not.
are not underwhelming. As a matter of fact, to be honest, if there's any Street Fighter
I was
boss
just
that's
gonna say, I thought I
underwhelming,
was
it's M
and Bison
Bison.
was pretty, just pretty much blah when it came to fighting him. I always beat him every single time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the best M Bison boss battle was in Alpha 3 because at first, it was really epic and he would do that thing that took up the whole screen and take all your life. But then even then, it was very
Yeah,
easy to
I,
memorize
I've
his
never
AI.
had a problem with an M Bison boss fight ever.
Yeah. Number 1 most underwhelming boss fight. Of course it's
Oh, Fable
of
2,
course
of
it's Fable 2.
course.
Of course it's Fable 2. You know what though, Fable 2 could be, you could actually substitute a few other games in here that really don't have last bosses. You could say that Fallout 3 could fit into that spot for the same reason, you could say that Earthbound falls into that spot for the same reason. Although honestly, if you get to the end of Earthbound, you probably like it and therefore brain damaged. But and I'm gonna get so much hate for that, but I don't care. As Andrew says, haters make me famous. But in all reality, I mean, Fable 2, out of all those, Fable 2 probably did it the worst. I mean, you fight him with a music box.
Like you said, it is on the same lines as like an Earthbound, where you're praying away the final boss.
Yeah, you're praying. And then you have the option of killing him, or you can have some other character do it for you. I mean, it's just...
don't get me wrong. Going through a Fable game, it can be pretty cool, but when you get to certain parts of it, it just makes you want to just facepalm. It really does. You know what the hard time that I think a lot of people have with Fable is that it was marketed as being I have to agree with that. Actually, it was marketed like that, and it didn't do anything like that at all.
Yeah. No, not at all. I mean, it's just stupid. Stupid. So that is it. Let's rank this list. The only one on here that I disagree with is the Street Fighter one. Everything else on here, I either agree with or I haven't played the game. So I can't argue with Resistance Full of Man. I haven't played it. It sounds like a terrible boss. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of these are really, interesting. Like, I mean, Arkham Asylum, great, amazing game, and you got to admit that
it did make you go, what the fuck, especially after putting all that into it. Yeah. I can see.
Yeah, I'm actually playing through Arkham City right now, and I already have been spoiled on how it ends, and I know that they kind of went in the same direction, but improved it vastly. So yeah, I know what happens. Let's just say I'm not going to say it in case anybody else is playing it or hasn't played it. But yeah, so I'm going to give this an 8, I guess.
I'm going to say a 9, actually. I'm going to say a 9.
Okay, a 9. Okay. Do you want to... I have one more thing here. I have a list here that I would go through real quick if you want to hear it as a bonus. It's the best fake words from The Simpsons. I'm a
I love The Simpsons
fan. I know you like The Simpsons too. Yeah. It's 30 words made up by The Simpsons. Number 30, Steve Mobs, which is their XP for Steve Jobs. Number 29 is Uns.
Oh, yes.
Uns is gonna see the world. As in UN, we Uns. Number 28 is Gwoka.
I don't know that one either.
I don't know that one. Gwoka, yeah. Number 27 is Apple, which was Apple. Yeah. Number 26 is Intrubulate. That is a good one. Number 25, Screamer Pillar. Remember that episode with the little caterpillar that would just scream constantly? Number 24 is Foliage, which was Marge trying to say foliage, but she couldn't do it.
Foliage.
She kept saying foliage. Yeah. No, Mom, it's foliage. That's what I said, foliage. Number 23 is Woozle Wuzzle. Oh, something stupid like Bart would say, like Bucka Bucka or Woozle Wuzzle. Number 22 is Scrabble Ship, which was that bizarre game they were playing that was a mixture of Battleship and Scrabble. Number 21, okay, nobody really talks about this one, but this is one of mine and Andrew's favorites, is Fishbulb. And it was kind of a throwaway line. Remember that Mr. Sparkle episode where they found the Japanese detergent that seemed to have Homer's face on it? I think so. It was a really old episode. I think it might have been like season 5 or 6 or so. And they were going dumpster diving or something, and they found this Japanese detergent, and the mascot looks exactly like Homer. And eventually they find out that it was the Japanese company sends them a video explaining it, and it was basically these two companies merged, and one had a light bulb logo and the other had a fish, and when you put them together it kind of looks like Homer's face. And And Bart just kind of calls him Fishbulb after that really quick, and it was a line that a lot of people kind of didn't catch, you know? But I thought it was really funny. And I know me and Andrew have used it as a generic insult, you know? Calling people Fishbulb. Number 20 is another, like, really obscure one that I like, is Fing. This is where Homer and Otto were in the attic smoking weed. And they're just blazed out of their skulls, and Otto is staring at his hands, and he goes, "They're called fingers, but I've never seen them fing." Oh, wait, there they go.
That's great.
Number 19 is Floor Pie.
Oh, I remember that one.
Floor Pie.
That's a classic.
Yeah, that's a classic. Number 18 is Squishy. That's not really a made up. I guess they're talking about the
not really
the slushies that they call them squishies, but that's not really a made up. Yeah, not really a made up word. Number 17 is avoision.
Oh,
tax avoision.
Avoision.
I don't say evasion. I say avoision. Yeah. Number 16 is geriatric profanity disorder. Number 15 is one of a big Homerism.
Tramampoline.
Tramampoline, yeah. Number 14 is blurst. It was the best of times. It was the blurst of times. Stupid monkey. Number 13 is steamed hams. And you call them steamed hams despite the fact that they are obviously grilled.
Yeah.
Yes. That's very strange, Seymour. Oh, it's regional. Where are you from? Upstate New York. Well, I'm from Utica. I've never heard that. Number 12 is Craptacular.
That's
Obviously, that
popular.
one's become very popularized. Yeah. Number 11 is Gamblor. That's when Marge had the gambling problem, and Homer was like, "I call him Gambler, and it's time to snatch your mother away from him." Number 7 is Glaven.
That's huge. That's huge.
Glaven. Yeah. Number 9, Tobacco. The tobacco. Remember the when Homer made a hybrid plant of tobacco and tomatoes. Well, that actually, if you notice in the newer Simpsons episodes, ever since they went HD, when they go to the checkout scene at the cash register during the opening, the generic food products have been replaced by Simpsons stuff, and you actually see a jug of tobacco juice.
That's great.
Yeah. Number 8 from the very first episode, not counting the Christmas special, Quidgy-Bo. A big, dumb, balding North American ape with no chin and a short fuse. Number 7 is Saxophone. Saxophone.
That one I know.
Number 6 is a perfectly cromulent word.
No, don't remember that one.
You don't remember that one? There was the Springfield motto, "Noble spirit embiggens the smallest man," and Mrs. Hoover was talking to Mrs. Krabappel, and she says, before I came to Springfield, I never heard the word embiggens. And she says, why not? It's a perfectly cromulent word. Which is another made-up word. And they've used that a lot. Number 5.
Oh, yeah, that one
Impossible. As in, me fail English? That's impossible. Number 34, Jeebus.
Yeah, that one, that's used pretty often, actually.
Yeah,
it has, hasn't it?
Off by Family Guy. And number 3 is Embiggen.
Oh,
Noble spirit embiggens the smallest man. Number 2 is a word that most people don't realize came from The Simpsons, which is meh.
That really came from The Simpsons?
That came from The Simpsons. It did. It was an episode where I forget what it was about, but it was an advertisement for some kind of a theme park or something that got Homer all excited, and he asked the kids, Homer and Lisa, like, do you guys want to go? And they're like, meh. And he's like, come on. And he's like, and I think Bart even looked at him and goes, Homer, M-E-H.
Huh. I didn't even realize that, honestly. Wow.
Yeah. That was back in
1992.
1992. Yeah, that was the episode where Homer had a heart attack. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
number
of
one
course.
is
Come on now.
I mean, yeah. You know what's funny is they don't write that in the script. They write annoyed grunt, and Dan Castellaneta, that was his interpretation of an annoyed grunt. And it became like this huge catchphrase,
That is
you know?
interesting.
It's interesting how that worked out. But, okay, out of 30, I mean, I'm going to give it 30. I mean,
I'm gonna give it a 30 as well, because come on, I agree with all of that. That's great.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's the list, critics. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. You know, if not, then why are you still listening? It's been like an hour and a half.
It's been 2 hours. Woot!
Actually, it's been 2 hours. Why are you still listening if you don't like it? There's something wrong with you. But we'll see you guys in a month. Thank you, Tanya, for coming on, of course.
Have a good one.
And peace out.